I'm Miss Odom, and today we're going to be looking at our Sea Level Rise curriculum, and we're going to be doing Module 2.2, which is Living with the Living Shorelines. All right, first, we need to have a little bit of background about living shorelines before I explain each of our shorelines to you. So, shorelines are our first line of defense against storms in the Gulf of Mexico. A healthy coast helps to protect our communities. Coastal erosion is the loss of surface land and can be caused by wind, waves, storms, waves from boat wakes, and rising water levels. Some techniques to protect the coast from erosion are human-built structures like bulkheads and seawalls. These structures provide a strong barrier to water, but they require expensive maintenance, and during strong storms they can fail. Natural shoreline protection can come in the form of oyster reefs and wetlands. These act as speed bumps to storms, slowing them down and reducing erosion. Living shorelines require less maintenance and are designed to withstand storms. Living shorelines are a way for humans to use nature to help protect the coast. Living shorelines use natural elements like native marsh grasses and oyster shells to stabilize the shore. Another benefit of these shorelines is that they offer habitat for animals like fish, crabs, and oysters. Oysters are filter feeders and help clean the water they are in, so using oyster shells in living shorelines promotes oyster reef growth to clean the water while also preventing erosion. Marsh grasses provide habitat for fish to hide while they are young. Adult fish will venture into the Gulf of Mexico. The Gulf of Mexico is the second largest area of fish landings in the United States, second only to Alaska. Commercial fisheries in the Gulf of Mexico have an economic impact through job creation from processors, dealers, retailers, restaurateurs, and the people that transport seafood from the ocean to our plate. Utilizing living shorelines helps to affordably and sustainably protect our coast while also supporting fisheries and clean water. All right, so for today, we're going to have 4 shorelines that we're going to look at, and we will look at each one of these a little bit closer as we perform our lab demo. For this one, we're going to have our bulkhead or a seawall that's simulated. This one will be a living shoreline that has marsh grass and some rocks that are going to serve as our oyster reef. This one has our living shoreline with just planted marsh grass, and this one is a shoreline with only sand. Okay, so now we're actually going to perform our little demonstration. And what we're going to do is you are wanting to look at what each of these shorelines looks like before we create any wave action. So you're going to write a hypothesis of what you think is going to happen before, and then we're going to make some waves and we're going to see what happens. It's also important here to make a kind of mark that shows where our sand currently is, because theoretically it can change after we make our waves. So I'm going to make a mark right here with an expo marker. This is where my sand is now. And then we'll make another mark after we finish and see if our sand did move. All right, so here we go. I have a paint scraper here, and I am just going to very gently make 20 waves. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right. So I'm going to come around here because I've kind of made my water a little bit dirty. And I'm going to see if my sand is indeed in the same place. My sand at the bottom is a little bit kind of where it was before, but you may want to make a note in your second drawing that if you look at this from the side, I definitely believe that it changed right here. So, there's the end of our measurement. So I'll make a measurement and record that for you. But definitely in your drawing, make sure that you make note that this did change. And if you look at it from above versus what it was before, you can see that there has been some erosion in that first little bit of that shoreline. All right, for our second shoreline, this one is a living shoreline. So if it is living, it means that there are living things there. And in this particular one, we have marsh grass, all right? And we have two different, and we just use some aquarium plants, so we have two different kinds that are going to simulate our marsh grass. So you're going to draw a picture of what the shoreline looks like before any wave action. And I've already made a mark right here for you of where the sand ends, okay? So I do have a little bit of sand in front of where my marsh plants are. And notice where my marsh plants are along this edge. Now, in reality, we would have a lot more plants back through here on a real shoreline, but for this demonstration, we just have this nice little barrier right here. All right, so we're going to do our wave action again, and we're going to make 20 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, so for this one, we're gonna also make a note. I'm gonna come around and I'm going to see if my shoreline changed. This is where my sand was before, and there is a tiny little bit in front of it, but really, the sand didn't come out and move into our water. It may have changed a little bit right here. You're going to have to look back at the recording if you can't remember how it changed. But look at what our living shoreline did for us. Did our living shoreline help protect this particular shoreline from eroding? So you're going to draw your second picture and make any observations about that.